Welcome to Enter Scoop Phase, and this is our guide for the Starter Deck 13 RagnaLoardmon. We'll be doing a quick overview of the cards included, then two different deck profiles. One, a budget deck that works with just 2 copies, and then a larger, more endgame build that you can work towards. Now included in this deck is a 54 card deck ready to go, 6 reprints of Tamer cards with alternate arts, 2 memory counters, and some garbage how to play cards that are barely worth it. Now we'll be doing a quick overview of the cards included. If you are already familiar with cards included in the starter deck, feel free to skip ahead to the next section. First up is 4 of our Digi-Egg Sakutomon. This is great. This is what we will be using even for our final finished build. Inherit when you play another Digimon with Legend Arms and his traits by an effect, gain 1 memory. That is what this deck is doing. For rookies, there's quite a few of them in this, surprisingly. 4 Zubamon and 4 Ludomon. Let's just go over them together because they're practically the same. They both have an on-play by placing this Digimon under one of your other Digimon on board that is the opposite color or has Legend Arms in its traits. You can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Legend Arms Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less, you can free play it. If not, you add it to your hand. This will allow you to help build up the evolution sources of things, as typically you'll be hard playing something with a play cost of 7 or higher. That is our level 5s. Those level 5s will be coming out with no sources, so this way you can still add the 3s in as sources. The 4s have a similar ability that can do that as well. Zubamon's inherit ability, when attacking, if the Digimon has Legend Arms or is black, delete one of your opponent's guys with 3k or less. That's great. It gets rid of some of their on-play guys that they might have previously used that search for things. It will get rid of floodgates, as those are traditionally rookies. Ludomon's inherit will give your guy blocker. The deck also comes with 4 Chikurimon. This is what people will call a floodgate. It has the effect all turns players can't reduce play costs. This doesn't bother you. This is meant to bother your opponent, especially if they're running a Digicross mechanic deck, such as Crossheart, Blue Flare, or Bagra Army. This will stop them from gaining reductions on their Digicross plays, so that means they'll have to deal with it right away. So it's a nice way to distract them. It's a nice diversion card. It locks them out of some plays and slows them down. The deck also has 4 of this vanilla Kotemon. It's a 2-cost play rookie. You're not going to be using this. It's filler. For level 4s, 4 Zuba Eagermon. This is the red line evolution. On play, place this Digimon under one of your other Digimon that's black or has Legend Arms to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5k or less. If it gets played by something like maybe Zubamon or Ludomon's effect, you still get the on play and you can keep going. It's inherit once it goes under something. If you have a Digimon that's black or has Legend Arms in his traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k DP or less on attack. That's the exact same thing as Zubamon, so Teal Ludomon is again pretty much the same thing. On play, by placing this under one of your guys that's red or has Legend Arms in his traits, one of your Digimon gains reboot until the end of your opponent's next turn. Keeps your guy from being attacked. It's nice if Ludomon's already down there because if it has blocker and reboot work together well. And its inherit will give whatever it's under blocker, which actually works very well with it. You'll add it underneath something, give it reboot and blocker. Also for this vanilla Gladimon, you are not running this. We'll just not be running this. Next, 2 Duramon. We're going to need to buy 2 copies of this starter deck because you need 4 of this thing. On your turn, when this would digivolve into a card that is black or has Legend Arms in its traits, reduce the evolution cost by 1. It's also note a play cost of 7. That means Zubamon and Ludomon can hard play it off the top of your deck. Inherit end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this and one of your other guys in play into a Digimon for a DNA Digivolution cost. That will work once you've got 2 level 6s on board. For RagnaLoardmon. This is what confuses me, guys. Bandai, seriously. These are both essentially the same thing. Why are you not getting the same number in each? Why is this foil and why is this not? Regardless, on your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be deleted by your opponent's effects. That's great. Keeps it alive and has the same inherit to DNA. You're going to want 4 of each. Then we get 2 random vanillas again. Useless. Why? I get why, but no. Now boss cards. 2 Durandamon. Your turn once per turn. When one of your effects places a Digivolution card under this guy, so any of your Zubamons, Ludomons, or their level 4 counterparts, you get 3k DP and security attack +1 for the turn. On attack, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Digimon with Legend Arms in its traits and a play cost of 7 or less without playing memory cost. It's a better version of Zubamon and Ludomon's effect, because you can look at top 3 rather than top 1. So you'll play another level 5 or lower, ideally if you see it. That will proc Durandamons once per turn, gaining 3k and security attack +1 off that. And inherit when your Digimon is RagnaLoardmon, which, yeah, that's going to be the only level 7 you're running. It doesn't activate security effects on option cards it checks. Then we have 4 RagnaLoardmon. What are these names? Again, this is a ratio issue thing. Typically, your deck is not going to be running 4 of this and 2 of this. It's the reverse. You're going to want 4 Durandamon, so yeah, you're going to buy 2. And this guy, you don't necessarily need 4 of. It's still decent, but it doesn't push the game as hard as Durandamon does. Once per turn on your turn, when you place a Digivolution card under this guy, it makes this immune to your opponent's effects that would delete this, or return it to your hand, or return it to your deck until the end of turn. It gives it a variety of different protection effects that keep it alive. And on Digivolve, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. You get to play a Digimon with Legend Arms as traits that has a cost of 7 or less without paying memory cost, which will proc it once per turn. And inherit when this guy happens to be under RagnaLoardmon. It isn't affected by any of your opponent's Digimon effects. And then ideally, of course, your end game plan is to have one of each of these out on board, made easier if you have one of these inherits underneath, because then you can DNA them into our boss card, RagnaLoardmon. This is just a personal thing that's always just been annoying me all the time. The frickin' spelling on this name, Lordmon. Do you pronounce this Lordmon? Loadmon? I feel like they depended a bad romanization and meant it to be Lord, but spelled it Load instead, and for some reason they decided to take both Load and Lord and smash them together, and now there's this ugly... What the heck is a Loward? The name has always been dumb to me. Whatever. This guy's great, but it takes a lot of work to get him out. It DNAs off 1 Durandamon and 1 RagnaLoardmon, 0 cost. You need them both on board. Otherwise, it's a 6 cost evolution on top of one of these guys. Slightly okay, because it has Blitz on Digivolve. Also, if you happen to DNA Digivolve it, on top of the Blitz, you also get, for every 4 cards in this guy's Digivolution sources, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 20 or less and trash the top card of their security stack. That is a lot. That is insane. It does take a lot of work to get to that point, though. And then all turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from a player's security stack, unsuspend this. So on Digivolve, you will gain Blitz. You will trash the top card of the security stack. That will proc the once per turn, which means it restands in the middle of its attack. It will complete its Blitz attack, then still be standing. And then finally, the option cards, we have 2 Direct Smashers. If you have a Legend Arms traits, you can use this without color requirements, which is good. Half the deck is black. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. It's just a simple 1 card removal. I wouldn't run it in the endgame build. And then 4 copies of Legend Arms Alliance. This thing is great. You could easily run 3 to 4 of this. You should run 3 minimum. On play 1 Digimon with Legend Arms and its traits and a play cost of 7 or less from your hand without paying memory cost. Then place this in battle area. That means for a cost of 4, you can hard play your level 5s that cost 7. And then delay on a following turn. You can trash this to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and reorder them to top or bottom in any order you wish. That's great for all of those look at top card or look at top 3 cards. This helps you rig what's there. And then its security effect is essentially its main effect. You get to free play a Legend Arms with a cost of 7 or less from your hand, and then set this up in your battle area. And then included with this deck is 6 promo Tamer cards. These are reprints of Tamer cards that have already been printed already. First one up is this Red Tie. All your Digimon get 1000 DP on your turn. It's not very good. Next is this Davis Motomiya. This is the most valuable card in the entire box. This thing is great. So many blue decks want this. It's a memory setter. Reveal top 3. Add a blue and a green to your hand. It's an excellent card. Doesn't work in this deck though. This promo Sardek 3 TK. On your opponent's turn, all your security guys get 2k. Doesn't help you in this deck. Isn't really good in any deck. This Ken, it's a memory setter. You can gain memory when your green or blue guy deletes something in battle. It sucks. No one runs it. This Black Izzy. This is actually good. Unlike the Jesmon deck where none of these 6 Tamers work in it, this card works great in this deck. Start of your turn, it's a memory setter, sets you to 3. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If all the reveal cards are black, gain 1 memory. Odds of that happening in this deck being mostly 50-50 red-black, yeah, that's not going to happen. But then, you can still reorder the cards on top of your deck in any order, which sets you up for Zubamon, for Ludomon, for all of your look at top cards and play something. And then finally, the Star Deck 6 Matt Ishida. On your turn, when one of your Digimon is deleted, suspend this to gain 1 memory. It's fine, just not in this deck. Now, 1 copy of this deck is great, but you can easily make it more serviceable with a second for a friendly budget option. Your Digig is still obviously going to be for Sakudamon, the only thing we've got. We've trimmed down the rookie count for Zubamon, for Ludomon, for Chikurimon. We have no need for more than 12 rookies, especially when it's a vanilla that we're not going to hard play. Both Zubamon and Ludomon do what we want to do in this deck, and Chikurimon is great to stall things out. Champions for Zuba Eagermon, for Tia Ludomon. We're still keeping 2 Gladamon in here. It's still a 1 cost evolution, so it's not that bad if we have to use it. These are still obviously the ones we want to be using more. Ultimates, we're just doing 4 ofs. 4 Ludomon, 4 Duramon. That's all we need. Level 6 is just for consistency's sake. We're doing 4 of everything. 4 Durandamons, 4 RagnaLoardmon, 4 RagnaLoardmons. There's not really changes we can do to this. We want 4 of this anyway. You could probably just run one less RagnaLoardmon if you want. 4 is probably a little too heavy, but if you're just combining 2 of these decks, there aren't really a lot of options anyway, so you might as well just be more consistent and make sure you get a level 7 in your hand. Options, unchanged. 4 Legend Arms Alliance, 2 Direct Smashers. They're both good. Legend Arms we want to run 4 of. Direct Smasher, just from lack of other alternatives, an emergency removal card. And because we bought 2 of the decks, we have 2 of these Izzies, so the advantage over the Jesmon deck is we actually have a usable tamer that comes with the deck. And now for the final RagnaLoardmon build. Digimon is still the same, Sakuramon is still the best card we could use. For the level 3 lineup, we're still running the ST-13 Ludamon and Zubamon. They're doing exactly what we want to do for the deck, no reason to change it. Adding 2 of this older BT3 Ludamon. On play, look at top 5, grab a RagnaLoardmon, and then something else with Legend Arms, can get 2 hits. And then 2 of the BT10 Spotamon. On play, you put it underneath one of your guys as well, just like Ludamon and Zubamon do, to digivolve one of your opponent's guys down 1 level. In clutch, it comes in very well. The inherit's still fine. On attack, look at top 3, grab something with Legend Arms, put it into your hand. Champions it's untouched. It's just 4 Zubigramon, 4 Teoludamon. Level 5s also just 4 RagnaLoardmon, 4 Duramon. They work. These are the ones we want. Their previous incarnations, their effects don't really mesh very well. For level 6s, we're only running 2 RagnaLoardmon, and in place of the other 2, we're running 2 Baihumon. This card is just amazing for this deck. When digivolving, unsuspend up to 2 Digimon and or Tamers, then gain 1 memory for each of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon and Tamers. No, you can unsuspend your opponent's guys to make sure you gain memory from this. So even though it costs a lot, you could still get at least 2 memory back from its evolution. Then at end of turn, once per turn, for every 2 unsuspended Digimon and Tamers your opponent has in play, you trash the top card of their security. This works very well with the deck. You can easily evolve into it and turn, trash some of their cards, and then this with another level 6 on board, and your level 5 DNA inherit, DNA this and a Durandamon into a RagnaLoardmon. Go for another hit, since it gets splits. Still just, again, 2 RagnaLoardmon, 4 Durandamon, it is the better other 6 to run. Baihumon is honestly better than RagnaLoardmon, but it doesn't have Legend Arms name, so we still kind of need this. And then 3 RagnaLoardmon, 4 is definitely overkill. 2 kind of reduces the odds that you'll see it, and it is still nice to see it. It is still kind of your end game of what you want to build into. Then 4 Legends Arms Alliance, because it is just the best engine in this deck. It's just a good engine in this deck to get your level 5s out quickly. 2 Crimson Blaze. This one's a tech choice. For each Digimon your opponent has in play, it reduces the memory cost by 1, so you could potentially play it for cheaper. Delete all of their guys with 6k or less. That's not the reason why it's there. Your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until the end of their next turn. That is why it's there. This will stop things like Jesmon from being able to play Sistermons out, things like that. We still got 2 of that Izzy that we got as the promo in this deck. It's still very good. Chances are the memory effect you aren't going to gain off of it. I did design this deck a little bit more black than red, so there's 24 black to 18 red, but that's still less than half the deck. Odds of it happening are low, but you still get to rig the top 3. And then 3 Analog Youth is the final card. Because it's a multicolor deck, we can't fit a memory boost in here effectively, so we're running Analog Youth instead. It's a 2 cost, reveal the top 3, grab any Digimon, and then all turns when one of your level 5 or higher is deleted, you can suspend this, gain a memory, and hatch a Digiegg. You're hard playing level 5s using effects, so chances are you can have them on board more easily, and then if they die, you can at least come back from it a bit. And then that's Starter Deck 13 RagnaLoardmon. That's all I got.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。